Hello. So in this video, we're going to go over the whole concept of GRAMs. Uh, so to learn everything there is to know about GRAMs, you should come to the documentation page at docs.pacewap.org/products/GRAMs. So what are GRAMs? GRAMs are smart contracts that you deploy on a blockchain in order to help users transfer value on or off various blockchains. Each ramp needs to be backed by a set of trust bounties that lock a certain amount X of native token of the blockchain on which the DRAM is deployed for a period of time. So basically, you deploy your DRAM contract, smart contract, and to activate the DRAM contract, you have to lock in a certain amount of the native token of the blockchain on which you deploy the DRAM. So if you deploy the DRAM on Ethereum, you're going to need to lock a certain amount of ethers for a certain amount of time to activate your GRAMP. Uh, Now, three, each GRAMP can be used to mint multiple fiat tokens, which are tokenized fiat currencies, as well as tokenized versions of multiple other assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, other native coins of other blockchains, stocks, etc. So TFIAT, PlaceSwap introduces the notion of TFIAT or tokenized fiat, but they don't just refer to tokenized fiat currencies. They can also be tokenized Bitcoin, tokenized Ethereum, or other native tokens, or even stocks. They can also be stocks. Uh, so you can basically use dirhams to tokenize any currency in existence, right? PaySwap has a system that enables you to tokenize multiple assets like currencies, like native tokens, native coins of other blockchains, like stocks and stuff, using the DRAM system. So, for the demand and supply of minting or burning services around an asset constitute what we call a token market. Dirham support most fiat currencies in the world. So basically, you can tokenize most fiat currencies in existence, uh, and we call token market uh, the market around a certain token. So if you take the USD token, for instance, right, any demand for minting of T fiat, TUSDs, tokenized USDs, of burning or any demand for burning of tokenized USDs, that whole market is called a token market. So if we refer to the USD token market, it has to do with any activity around burning and minting tokenized USDs. Or yeah, so that's a token market. Uh, so why do we need dirhams? Transferring money on or off blockchains today is heavily dependent on banks, which are centralized parties. More generally, transferring any significant amount of money today is also heavily dependent on banks. At PaySwap, we do not believe this to be compliant with the philosophy of blockchains. That's why we created decentralized RAMs or DRAMs. With decentralized RAMs, any agent around the world can set up a money transfer business and start facilitating money transfer operations for any user around the world. Suppose you are an agent in Kenya, for instance. With dirhams, you can start facilitating money transfer operations in and out of Kenya without the need of banks. Trust is created using trust bounties. Basically, trust bounties are just a product that enables you to lock a certain amount of token for a certain period of time. So it's basically like a time lock. If you know about blockchain, you know about time locks. So this is like a time lock, but with extra features. That's what we call trust bounties. Uh, Trust is created using trust bounties, which agents use to lock a certain amount of native token of their blockchain for a period of time, converting covering the time they plan to be a DRAM operator. So basically, if you don't have a a certain amount of native token that's locked, you cannot operate your ramp, right? So to be able to operate your ramp, you need to have a certain amount of token active. So if you plan, for instance, to be a DRAM for 6 months, to operate your DRAM for 6 months, you need to lock in a certain amount of token for 6 months plus 2 weeks, basically, right? So that after the end of at the end of the 6 months, you can still operate your DRAM, and after the 6 months, you cannot operate your DRAM anymore because the lock needs to have at least 2 weeks remaining to be a valid lock. Uh, so if you lock the amount and it remains 2 weeks for uh, the lock to be unlocked, right? If it remains 2 weeks before the lock is broken, then you can at least 2 weeks. Then you can operate the DRAM. Less than 2 weeks, you cannot operate the DRAM. More than 2 weeks, you can operate the DRAM. So that's basically what this part of the documentation is saying. Deploying a DRAM. So now we're going to go into the demo phase. Let's deploy a DRAM, right? You go to this page. So you click to go to that page, and then it says you click on the deploy ramp and validate the transaction. So you click on deploy ramp. So this is as an agent. So if you've understood the whole documentation to this point, you have agents. Anybody can lock a certain amount of of the native token of his favorite blockchain to start operating a DRAM, right? And then if you're operating a DRAM, you are called an agent, and people use your DRAM to mint or burn uh, fiat, right? So if somebody wanted to tokenize USDs, for instance, that person will use your DRAM to tokenize the USDs. If that person had tokenized USDs that he wanted or she wanted to convert back into fiat USDs, that person will use your DRAM to convert the tokenized USDs back to fiat USDs. So you are the agent, uh, and to be able to for people to be able to use your DRAM to do those operations, you need to deploy your DRAM. So this is as an agent how you deploy your DRAM, right? You need to uh, you go to the page that's linked to in the documentation. You connect your wallet. That's what we're doing right here. Connect our wallet.